Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm very pleased to be joined by Vishnu Chatlani, a prominent community member here in Trinidad. Vishnu is a successful entrepreneur who runs a large retail and wholesale business called Target Discount. As well as his honest hard work and successful enterprise, Vishnu is also involved in serving the Trinidad Gurdwara Sahib and has been serving the Gurdwara for many decades. So we'll meet Vishnu and find out more about his life, his background, and how he gets involved with the Sikh community here in Trinidad. Vishnu, welcome to Sikh Channel.
Thank you very much, Devendra. Actually, it's a pleasure to have you guys here. I hope you've enjoyed whatever you have seen so far, and you liked our Gurdwara, and you're always welcome, and so is everybody else.
Thank you. We've had a very warm welcome from all the community here. And Vishnu, I'd like to start off with your personal journey, your personal story. Can you tell us about, do you remember Partition? Partition 1947 was a disaster for the Sindhi community in particular, whilst the Punjab was split into two. The Sikh community and Punjabi community did at least get half of their Punjab, if not all of it. But I was very sad to read about the history of the Sindhi community, a very prosperous and inspirational community who were caught on the wrong side of the border, and all of Sindh was taken by Pakistan, displacing millions of Sindhi people.
True, very true. It is, and it was a very sad affair. And yes, I think the Sindhi community did, suffer a lot from it. And it is basically stated that we are a community without a home, basically.
Absolutely. As a result of that, the Sindhi community have become great travellers, and they've reached every part of the world. The Punjabi Sikh community are very well known for going to every corner of the globe, but I think the Sindhis are ahead of the Punjabis, and wherever there is enterprise or business or any form of community, you'll find Sindhis.
True. There is a saying for quite some time that I think Neil Armstrong met one of us on the moon. Yes, and I think a guy selling chai, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, but I think because of the fact that we were displaced, I think they've spread out and they've spread throughout the world, I think.
Can you tell us about your personal journey? After partition, your parents, I understand they moved to the very south tip of India.
Yes. Actually, when the partition took place, we moved to Bangalore and basically set up there. And from there, my uncle had gone to, I think, Sudan at that time, and worked over there. And ultimately, he came here to Trinidad. My dad went to Hong Kong to also work, and unfortunately, he passed away there. And me and my siblings came here to my uncle. I was about 8 when I came here. Yes. 1967.
So you came here at a very young age, and you've lived in Trinidad all your life. Can you tell us about your early years, how you had to struggle, and how did you start your business?
Basically, we had a huge company here called Kroplanis. And most of the Sindhis and some of the Punjabis who had come down, they all worked with that company. Unfortunately, it folded up. And then each one went on their own separate ways. And we actually started off by opening a fast food outlet. And from there, we moved up, and then we took over a retail outlet in Port of Spain. And from there on, we've just been, improving. And we've also started doing a wholesale to, basically help out with the retail as well. And it's been going all right.
And what struggles did you have with your business? Was there any very dark moments, any big challenges you had to face?
Yes, actually we did. Because at the point where we had a turning point in our business and things were actually looking up, we had a fire in the store downtown, which destroyed 2 floors. And we just managed to salvage some items from it. That took us literally back to zero. So I think for the last 5 years, 6 years, we've just been trying to get back, to where we were.
And there's quite a large Sindhi community here in Trinidad. Would you say it's a large community in numbers?
Not really, actually. We had a much larger community before, but a lot of have migrated. A lot have passed away. So I mean, it's dwindled down to maybe about 15, 16 families right now. So it's really come down.
And what connection have you kept to the Indian subcontinent? Do you have any family, any real connection there now?
Devendra, I'm Sindhi. I have family all over the world. Yes, but I have my aunt's son is there in Bangalore. We're very close. I have family in Sri Lanka as well. Also in Bombay, Madras, Hyderabad. So, like you said, I mean, we're all over. So, we try as much as we can, but it's because of business constraints. It's difficult, But I would love to go every year. I mean, if possible.
And can you tell us about your involvement in the Gurdwara? Because we've heard a lot about you before meeting you. We've been told by various members of the Sikh community that Vishnu has been a great contributor to the Gurdwara, both in terms of donations. You made a huge donation to the Gurdwara, and you've also served and given a lot of your time.
Well, donations-wise, I think, no, we haven't really given a huge donation. But some of the other Sindhi community members have actually donated quite a bit. In fact, the building we have right now, quite a bit of that donation came from the Sindhis and the Sikhs, likewise, and, put together. We've created a lovely building, But like we were talking earlier, I was explaining to you that a lot of the Sangat, not only here, but I think throughout all the Gurdwaras in the world, attach themselves by doing seva, which is, I think, the main attachment that, brings us together.
And you serve the Gurdwara as treasurer, very important role, looking after the finances and ensuring stability and continuation of the Gurdwara Sahib, being able to run all the financial elements.
Well, actually, we were just elected in August of last year. And we're trying to streamline everything so that it would be much easier for the younger ones that are coming in, and they won't have to go through any, major headaches or problems, to have that continuity, going.
And in terms of the Gurdwara, do you attend every Sunday? Is that a regular thing?
I would love to, but again, you have to have time for your family. You have to have time for, traveling business-wise and, things to be done at home or whatnot. So we try as much as we can, but definitely at least minimum one Sunday per month. If we can, we do go at least on the third Sunday as well.
And in terms of the Sindhi community, they have a very special attachment to the Gurdwara. Wherever they are in the world, they attend the Gurdwara. Where does that come from?
Oh, actually, that is a question I may not be able to answer, but I can definitely concur with you that yes, in fact, where we grew up in Bangalore, it's actually a very narrow street. And right opposite to our house was the Gurdwara. And likewise, they always had a Shiv temple next to it. So every Monday, we used to attend the Shiv prayers. And every morning, we would visit the Gurdwara. So, I mean, it is a fact that Sindhis are very much attached to the Gurdwara.
And a lot of that comes from they follow Guru Nanak Dev Ji. The Sindhi community have a great attachment and respect and love for the message of Guru Nanak Dev Ji.
Yeah, correct. I think also because Sindhis and Punjabis were very close as far as living wise. You know, they were right next to each other. A lot of them grew up together. So yes, there is a lot of attachment. You know, I would also like to see like the Sindhis. I think we believe in Julilal, but there is no temple that we could at least go and partake. So I think because of that, a lot of Sindhis, and I think majority of the Sindhis, are always connected to the Gurdwaras.
Do you speak any other language apart from English? Do you speak Sindhi or Hindi at all?
Yes, I speak Hindi, speak Sindhi. Well, grew up with it, so definitely. A little bit of South Indian, which is Tamil,
And what about the next generation? Are they also learning and speaking Sindhi? Is Sindhi language very much alive and prospering?
Actually, unfortunately, that's our fault. Me and my wife's, similar to a lot of other families that do not literally speak to their children in their mother tongue. So the right thing would have been to speak to our children in Sindhi or in Punjabi, or whatever language is your language. I mean, I think a lot of people don't do that. They tend to speak to them in English, and that's where the connection gets severed, with.
In Trinidad, it's quite a mixed community, and it's a bit of a melting pot, and there's a lot of interfaith marriage. What's your view on people marrying between different faiths? Is there a risk of diluting a particular faith if you marry out of your faith?
I think not really. I would say each person has a partner out there. And it's basically left up to your feelings. If you meet somebody, you're attracted to them. Once they are good, then why not? Because it's sometimes difficult to meet people of your own jat, as we would say. So it's easier said than done that, we marry into our own people, that kind of thing. That's gone. I think those days are gone.
And with that, will it be possible to keep alive the traditions and culture and faith? Will it get diluted, do you think? For example, your children, will they marry other Sindhis, or will they marry people from other communities?
Well, we actually, I think our belief is that if they marry, let's say, Sindhis, or even if a Punjabi marries a Punjabi, what happens there is that the traditions are carried on, but I don't think, even if you do not marry into your own caste or if you are willing to carry it on, then you will teach it to your children. It doesn't.
A lot depends on the individual.
Correct. Totally correct. Because, I mean, my children come to the Gurdwara, right? And my son actually is quite involved. My daughter actually does a lot of seva as far as serving food and whatnot is concerned. My wife is also part of that. So we tend to take them there. So similarly, I mean, if I was married to, let's say, somebody of a white person or a black person or a Chinese person, if I wanted to actually install the traditions, I would just take them there. So, I mean, you could go to church one day, you can go to the Gurdwara another day. So they have best of both worlds.
That's great. And what is your message to the Sikh community worldwide, particularly from your Sindhi background? You've been a great supporter of the Gurdwara. This is year 2019. We are celebrating 550 years birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. It's a very big occasion in Pakistan, and there'll be a lot of Sikhs attending Nandgana Sahib this year. And also a lot of Sindhis will be going as well, because there's still a large population living in Pakistan.
Yes, correct. Like I said, I think my message basically is to keep doing what you're doing. Do not pull away. Keep at it. Do your best. Keep a connection with your Seva Dars, your Sangat, whoever is in the Gurdwara. I think it's in these times, things are like separating, so fast. People are moving their different ways, in different, places, whatever it is. But don't, stay away. Keep in touch. You know what I mean?
That's great advice, to keep in touch and keep connected to your roots. And whilst the world is changing and people are marrying people of different communities, it depends on the individual. If they want to maintain their identity, it's very important. And for example, the Sindhi community have scattered around the world, and are they able to maintain their identity without having a proper state or region?
Well, again, like I said, Sindhis also have been marrying out of their community or whatever it is. But once you make an effort, to keep in touch with your traditions, keep in touch with your people, your language, I think that is all anyone could ask for, actually. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Those were the thoughts of Vishnu Chaturlava. Sorry. Thank you very much. Those were the thoughts of Vishnu Chatlani from the Sindhi community, who's also a great Sevadar and community member here in Trinidad, connected closely to the Trinidad Gurdwara Sahib, which is a very historic Gurdwara. It's been here for over 100 years. We've learned all about the history. It's got an amazing history.
Yes, it is. Actually, the Gurdwara initially was on a piece of land, and it had just a little hut with like a little balcony or a porch around it, and that was it. It was like maybe 10 feet by 10 feet, but yet the connection for that little building was so immense. And then we had a little shed on the side where we would serve langar, but those days are imprinted. And to me, it does not matter of how huge the building is, how fancy it is, how well done up it is. To me, the smallest of Gurdwaras basically have a bigger connection.
Today the Gurdwara is a large modern building, and it looks very substantial and impressive.
Yes, it is. Yeah. But again, like I said, it's the Sangat that keeps it really together. I mean, so the Gurdwara is just a building, basically, but it's what's in it that counts.
Thank you very much. That was Vishnu Chatlani, who shared his thoughts with us here in Trinidad. Thank you very much, Vishnu. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.